Greetings everyone, I'm an Acumatica developer at AcuPower, and we are going to learn how to add parameters and formulas in your report, how to use grouped data, add your company logo, and work with QR codes. At the end of this video, you will have a good understanding of how to create a personalized and a professional report that will meet your business needs. As you can remember, it's our first report that we have created with you in our previous video. It was showing the invoice numbers with the corresponding amounts grouped with the customers. So if we are going to the part before running our report, we can see that there is no parameters that we can choose. So by running our report, we can see all the customers with the invoices that we have in our system. But what if we want to see only one customer with its corresponding invoice numbers? Here we can see different customers with their invoice numbers and amounts. By the way, our report doesn't have any page number that we can see on which page we are now. So we'll add the page number as well, and we'll get started with adding the parameters. As you understood, we are going to add customer ID as a parameter. Here is our report that we have created together, and to add the parameter, we are going to build schema part, the parameters tab. Here we can add, the name will be customer ID, and the prompt is what the user will see in the screen before running the report. So by choosing its parameter, it can be the same one. And to find out the data type, we should go to the screen. So now we are on the invoice screen. Let's inspect our customer element and see what type it has. To do so, we are going to the actions and view data class source. Our source is already opened. We should find our customer ID. Here it is, and we can see that its type is integer. Here it is. We can close this window, and here in our report designer, use integer. Now we can go to our view name part. In the view name, we should identify the field name from our screen that will be used after choosing the parameter. So there might be a field that will be used for finding the correspondent customer IDs. To do so, we are going to application part under functions and use get field schema. As you can see, here we should set our field. It will be used like this one, and get customer ID and login. So by these actions, our parameter is already added. If we want to set it visible, we check it. If we want to set it as required, of course, we're going to check it. In this part, we see that allow, null, and required are not cannot be together checked, because when it's required, it means that it cannot be null. So we are going to save it to our server Here are our credentials already filled. Load reports list. If we want to save it as a new version, something like that, parameter. Done. We'll check now. In the report versions, we can see that the parameter is active, so our last version is saved to the system. Now here we can see that it's like integer saved. Now we are gonna back build schema and use string, because it will show us not the IDs but customer names. So we can check it here one more time. So we can see that our customer ID parameter with its lookup is already added. Let's click on that and we'll see all our customers here. Let's check any of them and run our report. As we can see, it didn't filter our report by only that one customer, because in our record there isn't added any filtering. So if our parameter is always required to select, then in the filters tab we should add that our field is always equal to our parameter. Our customer ID should be equal to our parameter. We're going to save it again, and this time we can use the description filtering and test it. Let's not do anything here by choosing, and we can see that our parameter is required in any case. And here we can see that it chose only the parameter that we have selected. Is the same one here. And what will be if we want to see all our customers in any case? After adding our parameter, we should uncheck our required checkbox and allow it to be now. And in the filters tab, add a row that our customer ID parameter can be equal to now. So we'll add our parameter. Here it is. And in the condition is now. As we have another condition here as well, we should use braces to separate them. And of course, here the operator should be OR, because two cases can't be there in the same time. It either should be equal to our parameter or it should be null. So, okay, and saving again. We can already uncheck it because we want to overwrite the filter description version. And okay. Here we can see there isn't any required sign. And let's check both functions. Is the correct one, and let's delete our customer ID. And here are all our customers. Here we saw that in our last page there is an empty page. Now we can find out what is the problem. Here we can see two parts that are visible, but they are empty. Also, the parts that have some values should not print empty, which should be false. Let's set it for all of our sections and save it. Here we can see in our results that on the last page there isn't any empty one. And also one more thing, that we haven't got any page numbering here. As we want to see the page numbering on each page, we should add it on the page footer section, and the visibility will be true, and we'll add one text box for page and its value. As the text box is already added in the value part, we'll write page as page of. Let's see, let's preview it. Here we can see. Also, one more thing, here after each grouped data, we don't see the summarized amount of the invoices. Let's say we want to see the sum after each grouped data. It means that we should use our group footer section, because we're gonna show our sum in the at the end of the group data. So we should use this section. The visibility is true. Let's add a text box here and determine its value. We can find our sum in the functions. Let's delete text box 8 and add our sum. Here should be our expression. Make it OK. What we want to see here, we want to see the AR invoice query or doc amount. We can copy it and paste in the braces. Validating it. Here we can see that our sum is already added. Let's make it bold and a bit in a lower section. It can have a styling of can be true. Both is true now. Here it is. Also, let's add a line after each grouped part to separate them from each other. Let's see the result. Here it is. Let's say also we want to have a subtotal of all the invoices. We will add a sum of the AR invoices amount, but in another section to let the report calculate all the invoices that have their grouped data. So, as we want to show that amount at the end of the report, so we should add another section, report footer section. As you remember from our previous video, the report footer section in the report designer is shown after page footer section, but in the preview part or in our system, it will be shown with opposite parts, because the page footer section should be after the report footer section, as it is shown at the end of each page. So here we'll add another calculation. We can copy any text box and paste here. Okay. And we'll calculate our subtotal. Here it is, and we'll add a subtotal. It will have a styling with also the bold. And let's preview it. We can see the same number here because we have a random data with only one grouping. Let's save it to our system and see it with a real example. There. And stop. So we can see in our report that the amounts are calculated correctly, and on our last page we can see our subtotal here. But the formatting isn't so nice, so we are going to change its format to look as our totals. To do so, we are clicking on our subtotal and on the format. Zero, comma, zeros, dot, zeros. Zero, comma, 20, dot, 20. That's it. And going to save it again. Or we can just preview. As we have a value with string and calculation and numbers, the format isn't going to be affected. So we'll separate them. The subtotal will be deleted from here. And we'll add another text box for subtotal text. Editable. Yeah. Also, we feel good about styling. Let's see. The format is already changed. Only this needs to be changed a bit. Now I think it's okay. It looks good. Now let's add our company logo here. So, which section should we use for this purpose? As we are going to show our company logo only once, only on the first page of our report, we should use our report header section. Here it is. Now, for adding logo, we should add a picture box. And set the data part here. But before that, we should add our logo in our Report Designer to be able to show it and set it in this picture box. To do so, we are going to the data on our wall report. We are clicking on anywhere out of the design pane, and we'll see in the data pane embedded images collection and a new image. We have added our logo here from our device and clicking OK. Now we can add it. Clicking on our picture box, the source should be embedded. We added the embedded photos in our Report Designer, and the value will be chosen from here. I can see. And one more thing, we have added the report header section, but our columns are in the page header section. As we remember from our previous video related to the Report Designer sections, page header section is shown before the report header section because it's for each page. We can see here. Now we should do something to show this customer invoice number and amount, so the column names after our logo. To do so, we should add another group header section. We have one of them. We can duplicate the section. And as they are going to be shown after each other, our grouped data, the customer ID, will be moved to group header section 2. And our first part of the header will be used for our column names. And our page header section can be deleted. Also, an important part here, our group header section should be printed on each page. Here it is, print on every page. It should be true. Preview. Here it is. We can see it on our real example by saving to the server. Here we can see already the logo is added, our column names are there, and we can check other pages as well. And everything seems okay. Also, let's move on our QR codes. Let's say we need to have QR codes for each customer ID. It can be something else that you will need for your business needs. Yeah. For our QR codes, we need to add a picture box here, for example, and we'll go to data part again. Let's start from barcode type. It will be QR code. This part will be automatically filled. Source will be barcode. Here the main type is already filled, and the value will be a place customer ID. beautiful view. Here is our QR code edit. Let's get it bigger. Here it is. We can save, and we can see that each of our customers has its QR code here printed. Here is our last customer with its QR code, the sum part, and the subtotal. So that's it for now. We learned how to add parameters, work with grouped data, calculate their sum and subtotal, work with column names, how to move them from one section to another, and how to know which section to use using the information from our previous video. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. It's very helpful. The sections are really important using Report Designer. Also, we have learned to use QR codes and adding our company logo. So let us know, please, if you have any other questions in the comment sections, and if you will need some other further assistance, let our team know. We are always happy to help you to get the result that you want, that your business needs. So we'll meet on our next videos. Thank you for watching and your interest. Thank you very much. Bye.